It's the show the establishment warned you about.
That's right, it's the Dr. Tommy Show. Welcome back. We're joining you live from the free state of Florida in Echelon Health Studios. I am your host, Dr. Tommy McElroy, and joining me today is the illustrious concierge nurse.
Hi. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been a while, and Tracy is the concierge nurse, and I am the concierge doctor, and we're glad you're here today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some cruising tips and our own cruising experience, just so we share the knowledge. Because today we found out with Norwegian cruise lines that you can actually save money based upon if they've changed the cost of the cruise.
Yes, if it's gone down, if the price has gone down, and it's the same thing, the same package. You know, you have to compare to make sure that it's the same package. But anyway, I just called our cruise agent with Norwegian and saved a little more than $400.
You should shout out her name so people know.
Oh, yeah, Carolyn.
Crush
with Norwegian Cruise Lines.
And so basically, you were looking for a cruise for next year, and you're like, well, our cruise price is the same price with our cruise credits.
Right.
Because we had $250 cruise credits. We used 3 of them. Because you can use, on Norwegian, you can use 3 per balcony, or you can use 2 for an interior room.
Right.
And it was the same price. And we were saying, well, what's the diff?
Right. So, yeah, with Norwegian, you can call and if everything is the same, you know, they'll check it and then they'll just, take that, they'll just give you the new price. Some people say, I was on Reddit, and some people said that they'll give you a cruise credit, or they'll, if your final payment's been made, they will give you a credit towards a new cruise.
What's fair? Yeah. But our final payment hasn't been made yet, so they adjusted it, or she adjusted it.
Right.
But she wouldn't have adjusted it if we hadn't called.
No, because obviously they can't monitor everyone's account. We have to do that.
Yeah. So out there, if you're on Norwegian and you have already scheduled your cruise, keep an eye out. And make sure that you get the appropriate price, because basically our cruise credits were $750. They were partially wiped out by the decrease in the amount of the cruise, because it went from $12.99 I think to $9.99 or something like that for 7-day cruise.
Right.
On an Escape out of Port Canaveral.
Mm-hmm. Right. And cruise credits, for anyone that's wondering, you can get cruise credits when you are on a cruise, like Norwegian, for instance. We bought $2,000 worth of future cruise credits for $1,000.
50% off.
And then
BOGO.
And then occasionally Norwegian will say, "Oh, cruise credits, you can do triple cruise credits." Like right now, they're having a special triple cruise credits.
Right.
So a lot of times it's double.
I think usually you can only use 1 cruise credit for an interior room and 2 for a balcony.
Right, and then they do triple. It's a bonus. Right. Occasionally, like right now, they have a triple offer. Norwegian does it 2 to 3 times a year. Yeah. They do this, where you can do 3 cruise credits at one time. Yeah. So we'll save you $750.
So Norwegian, the others probably do that too, but that's the only one that we've monitored. Now we should go in and check the others and make sure that they are accurate.
Yeah.
Like, I know we got one coming in July, 3-day cruise with MSC. We need to make sure that cruise price is the right price.
Yeah. I will check that out. Yes, and I've never, besides Norwegian, I don't recall any of them ever offering future cruise credits for a discounted price.
No. And I went on MSC this last time to schedule a cruise potentially for the future, and I was looking at the same ship we were on, and the lady who's telling me, she goes, "Look, this is going to be at the same price as the internet."
Right.
And she said the difference, though, would be that you get double your Voyager Club credits when you book online, and they give you up to $300 cruise credit for booking on the ship. And when you look into that, that's if you get a Haven or whatever is it called the Haven? No, MSC is called Yacht Club.
Yacht Club. Yes.
Yacht Club, you get $300, and then balcony you get, I think, $150.
Yeah, like $150. Anyway, that particular cruise room, I looked the other day and it's sold out.
Oh, which one? The one we were on, or the one we were looking at?
The one you were looking at.
Oh, yeah, because she told me it was the last one.
Yeah.
So here's the idea, or here's the lowdown. I had a podcast yesterday. I was saying, I hope no one finds out about MSC, kind of in jest, because it's a good company, but I don't want there to be a huge demand for it, because we could have got a what they call it, a grand suite, right? Was that what they called it?
Mm-hmm.
A grand suite on MSC, which is basically it's like the highest level peasant class.
Right under
so it's
the yacht club.
Yacht club.
No, is it yacht club? Yeah.
Yeah, they call it yacht club. So MSC has a yacht club for, you want to skip the lines. It's totally different. You could actually stay in the yacht club and never have to see peasants at all, except to look down on them, which you should do. So anyway, the grand suite is back in Roman times, they had the aristocracy, and then they had the middle class, and then there's upper middle class. I forgot what they were called. But anyway, that would be that level. You're just beneath the aristocracy on MSC. That level suite is the same price as a balcony, straight up peasant balcony on Norwegian or Royal Caribbean.
Which, by the way, we've always been peasants.
Right. We've never actually made it to the aristocracy. We've got in within smelling distance.
Well, we can lounge with them in the same lounges and the same pools.
Yes, actually, on MSC, they have a special area, and it says Aria and Yacht Club. Or maybe, I think they actually have separate doors, though. It's the same balcony. I think one door lets the Yacht Club in, and one door lets Aria in. And then if you go out there, and if you're keen, you can realize that you've actually mixed with some peasants, upper middle class peasants, albeit you have mixed. But I believe, because what happened on this ship, the Grandiosa, is Olivia had her kids club on deck 18, right?
Yes.
And so we're at the front of the ship, called the, what do they call that?
The aft.
I thought the aft was the back.
Forward facing?
Forward is the forward. Forward is
forward facing. Oh,
aft
that's right.
Is the back.
That's right.
Aft ass, maybe is how you can remember it.
AFT.
So, aft is the ass of the ship. The aft.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're on the forward, and so Olivia's thing was on 18. So, okay, I go up to 18. Lo and behold, there's no way to communicate to her area, because on this ship, 16 was the only deck that went all the way across, and that actually went all the way across outdoors. 15 was the only one that went all the way across. Actually, 14 was the only one that went all the way across.
Yeah. So when you got to 16, then you went outside and then went up the stairs.
Right.
Which
So I had to go back
confusing.
down. But anyway, back to when I got to 19, then that's when I saw that area.
Okay.
And that's how I know we were allowed in the area with them, but I think we had to take a separate door.
I don't know. I did see a little sign that said Aria and Yacht Club guests only.
Oh, it was both? You could walk through the same door.
Yeah. And it was adults only.
I actually went out there.
I never made it out
I
there.
walked out there, walked around, and then.
We had, the kids with us most of the time for this cruise.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to make it to adults only places.
We hardly ever have. So that's MSC, and then there's Norwegian. And then the one that has been banished from our future cruising is as Carnival cruises.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because of the cruise boats are very nice.
Mardi Gras was really nice.
It's probably one of the best boats we've ever been on.
Yes, it was great because all the decks went straight across.
Mm-hmm.
It was not confusing like on this MSC, to get to a certain area of the boat, you have to go down a deck or go up a deck and then go over, that's confusing. But with the Mardi Gras, you just went straight to wherever you wanted to go. It was so easy to maneuver around that boat. The food was excellent. But yes, we cannot go on that.
On account of the clients, unfortunately.
Yes, and Kaylee witnessed.
Well, here's the thing. Kaylee witnessed an assault in the teen club
by a grown man assaulted a 16-year-old.
Okay, and now we have a related story I want to cover before we get off about that assault. Not necessarily about it, but was this assault the assault justified? And there's an assault that I want to talk about that may be justified from Breitbart. But anyway, so the story for this assault was that the father of a teenage child, girl, was apparently assaulted by this kid.
Sexually assaulted.
And so then he was going to basically mete out, frontier justice on him, which he did.
Yeah.
And
he said he was going to beat him up or
and throw him off the ship.
Yeah, and throw him off the boat.
So anyway, back to the point is, you don't want to be on a ship that either has sexual assaults or frontier justice on account of sexual assaults.
Yes.
And they say that, and I don't want to be sued by Carnival, but this is my opinion, so I can't be sued. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not defaming them. They say that Carnival is the Walmart of the seas. And I say yes, and it's also the Golden Corral of the seas.
Yes. Yes, for both.
The Walmart / Golden Corral of
And,
the seas.
interesting
And
enough,
the Save-A-Lot
Carnival was, they apologized because the incident happened, but they left a letter and they were more concerned with if Kaylee had taken a video.
Right, delete it.
Delete it.
It cost them a lot of money.
Yeah, delete that video.
Here's the thing
Kaylee
about-
had not taken a video because she was scared senseless,
Right.
really.
She
She just
didn't
wanted to
wanna be
get out of
next.
there.
Yeah.
But, that's what they were mostly concerned with.
Well, here's the thing about Carnival is a big company, and Carnival owns Carnival Cruise Lines, but they also own Cunard, which is the British company that runs the Queen Mary 2, which is the only ocean liner in operation, and they own, so they know how to run. So that's just their
Right. And we're going to maybe do, what was it, Princess?
Princess is owned by Carnival.
In a couple years for
Alaska.
your 50th birthday for Alaska. So we're still planning on doing business with
Just not
them.
Carnival Cruise Lines.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, the food was good. The boat was nice. The entertainment was not great. And then, of course, the people on board. Besides our
entertainment,
friends that we
yeah.
were with, which was really great.
The entertainment is not as good as I think Norwegian or MSC.
Yeah, MSC's was really awesome. I loved it.
Now, our cabin guy said that he was on the Carnival Miracle before, and he actually preferred the Carnival Miracle's food.
Yeah, well, maybe it was like Mardi Gras. Their food was really great, and we got the sushi boats, the upgrades,
Yeah.
and that was really nice. And that was not something we didn't have those options on this last cruise, MSC. So that was really nice on Mardi Gras, and maybe they have those options too on Miracle, where you can get the sushi boats for dinner or the upgraded Angus burgers.
Now, here's the dilemma: is we have, like I said, got within smelling distance of the aristocracy and the yacht club. One of our patients was in this morning. She was trying to convince us to go the full Monty and do the yacht club.
Yes.
So there's a couple problems with that. One is the cost basically is two cruises. It's the same amount as two cruises. So you basically say, okay, I'm going to do the yacht club and it's going to cost as much as two cruises. The other problem is that then you're exposed. And how do you go back
You don't.
to the peasantry if you've already not been a peasant, which
Yeah.
they've done. They
they're-
float between peasant
Yeah,
class
and they're actually going to be on a Royal Caribbean next week. They leave Sunday.
and peasant class.
And they're going to be in just the regular
Yeah.
area.
I'm saying that as a joke, but really, when we were on MSC, being in the Aria, upper middle class, still peasant, we had our own restaurant. And that restaurant was nice. It's probably the same food as the other dining rooms, but when we walked by the other dining room, I was like, damn, that place is crowded.
Yeah, there's a lot more tables.
It's
of
a lot
course.
more chaotic and sound wise.
Yeah.
Ours was kind of like you go to a nice restaurant in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yes.
they know who you are. And they're like, oh, have your seat. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people there were very nice. The ship itself. And
Yeah. Now, you can, right before your cruise leaves, usually on a couple weeks or so, you can bid
yeah.
on moving
Upgrades.
up. Yes. But usually the bids for yacht club starts at $4,000 or $5,000.
And a lot of those should sell, like you said, sell out. Like
Yeah.
that Grand Suite is gone. And that's for a year and a half from now.
Right. This
And
is
it's already gone.
Right. That's November of 27. That's
So I think
sold out.
people of means and people who like to cruise, they just go ahead and buy those up.
Yeah.
They have $20,000 or whatever allotted for vacation. They're just like, book it.
Yeah. It's amazing when you try to book a cruise and you're looking far in advance. How many are already sold out? That's why our patient that was in this morning, they are doing two
Interior room.
Well, one is a porthole,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and then the other one has some type of window that can open.
Okay.
But either way, they basically got what they could get because they, waited so long to book. And then other patients of ours that are leaving for a cruise next week also on Royal Caribbean, maybe they're going on the same boat. They also have two interior rooms. I think he's never been in an interior room. I told him you will get the best sleep ever because I've done interior rooms when I was much younger. That's all I ever did. And I shared with another couple.
Yeah.
And because it was just so cheap.
Yeah, it's different.
But
when we went on the Thanksgiving cruise with Olivia, I was walking by an interior room. Olivia's our 7-year-old. And I said to her, look, there's an interior room. And she looked and she says, ugh. So that's what happens. And now, so we got her. And this other tip for you, if you're cruising, is she's got a Voyager Club account now. She's 7.
Yes.
And so does Kaylee, who's older, but she still has her Voyager Club account. So basically, by the time Olivia is 18 or so, she'll potentially have a lot of Voyager Club credits. She may be a Diamond Club person already. So it's kind of like savings accounts. You start early.
Excuse me. Yeah, I need to mention that actually to our patients too. If they know to do that, they probably do. But the more you cruise, the more points you get and the more discounts you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our patient this morning said that she wanted to try gambling. But they do like to play. They gamble already a little bit, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So they want to try to do enough to get a cruise out of it. Which we've had several people who are gamblers in our practice who say, yes, we do that. But you pay for a cruise discount basically because they'll give you enough to get an interior room. But if you're not wanting that, then you pay the difference. And then you're going to always, pay for dining, not always, but you generally will pay for dining options. So you gamble enough to get a quote free cruise. You basically gamble enough to get a discounted cruise because you're still going to spend some money.
Right. Yeah. I don't really understand how to gamble. I think it's probably a good thing. I'm okay with not knowing how to gamble.
Yeah, she asked me if I gambled any. I said no, I didn't even lose any money. I didn't.
Yeah, and I don't
usually
really
I'll gamble like $10 or something, and I never got $1 from it. So I don't
plus
even know
it's
what
always
to do.
smoky.
Yeah, was it the one Princess has a non-smoking casino? Right? Is that the one I told you about?
I think so. Yes, and a patient actually just told me this week that at the casino here in Tampa. Upstairs is non-smoking.
Interesting.
And there's a little corner inside the casino on the first floor that's non-smoking.
That's a Seminole casino for people not familiar.
Right.
Hard Rock,
yeah.
So that's interesting. Anyway, that's our cruise update. So we are considering doing, you've probably been on the cruise, but I've only been on Carnival. I've been on MSC and Norwegian, and that's it. But you've been on others, right?
No, yes, I've been on some others, but it's no longer it's
it's
sailing.
defunct.
I can't remember. It was like the Dolphin Cruise Line.
Okay.
But it was a big like Carnival. Mm-hmm. But I think I did that cruise twice, but I was 20 years old. So that's been a long time ago.
Yeah. So anyway, we're considering doing Royal Caribbean and or Princess, but the Princess one didn't have any slides. The one you were looking at, and that's different than what we've been on.
Well, so Princess we're looking at for Alaska, and I'm
there's not going to be a lot of sliding in Alaska.
Yeah,
which
I'm
is
just
fine.
learning about the temperatures and what the the weather is going to be daylight. I don't really know yet how that's going to be since we're going to be going in the summer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the kids would want slides anyway.
Well, Princess is supposed to be the premier, from what I've read, what we call mainstream, meaning not luxury cruise to take for Alaska. Apparently they've been at it the longest. They have the best land tours, which you sail and then you land and then you do a tour of Alaska on land. And so apparently from what I've read, Princess is the go-to for mainstream quote unquote cruise lines. But then there's these luxury cruise lines, which we've never been on, probably never will be.
Yeah. We have 2 patients, 2 husbands and wives actually, that are going to be going on an Alaskan trip, and they're both using Princess. And then we know 2 travel. Yeah. What are they called?
Travel agents.
Travel agents, and they both recommended Princess. So
Princess will do for Alaska in 28, and then maybe for Thanksgiving and next year, or maybe Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing that new World Atlantic cruise though, MSC. But I would like to try a different cruise line rather than MSC. Blah blah. But damn, you can't. When you say, look, I can give you a nearly non-peasant class, nice suite for the same price as a balcony, then you're saying, okay, well, I'm just going to pass that up. It's hard to do.
Yeah, I think we should, though, give Royal Caribbean a try. A lot of people do Royal Caribbean. They love it.
As long as it ain't like Carnival.
I don't think it is.
Hopefully. Anyway, so I wanted to go over, I was telling you about, we had a story that was similar about assault. Always good to end on a assault story. So this is from Breitbart. It says, and I first read this, I'm like, oh, this seems like a bad person. So this is from Breitbart. It says, Brazil, woman who admitted killing boyfriend and cutting off his genitals is acquitted. Oh,
what?
So
How
what?
was she acquitted?
Well, how was she? So this is by Lau Cauffiel, and it says, a jury in Brazil has acquitted a mother who confessed she stabbed and clubbed her boyfriend to death, then cut off his genitals after she found him sexually assaulting her preteen daughter.
Oh, well, he deserved it.
Yeah, see, that's what you're not always, the headline doesn't always, so the headline's like, woman killed her boyfriend, cut off his genitals, is acquitted. And you're like, well, how? What kind of, and then you see, frontier justice.
Yeah, he deserved it.
That's what it was. I don't know. I'm curious what they charged her with, if anything, or if they just said, look, we're not going to charge her. And maybe that was self-defense. It says, after she found salacious text on the predator that the predator sent to the girl, she heard her screaming and rushed into the room to find him on top of her, trying to forcibly have sex, according to police reports. Mom allegedly called him into the living room for a beer. That's funny. Spiked his drink with Klonopin, a tranquilizer typically for panic attacks, and then stabbed and clubbed him while he was unconscious. Well, at least he was asleep.
Wait, did he die?
Yes.
Oh,
she
okay.
killed him.
Oh, okay. So
clubbed him to death.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised because that's definitely premeditated.
Yeah. Okay. Prosecutors alleged that the planning and brutality of the homicidal act proved not blind rage of a lesser charge, but elements of first-degree murder with cold-blooded premeditation, blah, blah, blah. The jury agreed. Okay. It says, she reportedly confessed, but claimed she was only doing it to prevent further attacks from the boyfriend, according to the New York Post. The jury agreed, and the mom was acquitted of aggravated homicide and destroying a corpse after just one day of testimony. And now they have a saying for that. And you know what that saying is called? Mm-hmm. It's called jury nullification. And jury nullification is where a prosecutor presents damning evidence. And then the jury says, okay, we're still going to acquit him anyway. That's what they said happened with OJ.
Okay.
OJ Simpson. That's the first time I've heard of it. But OJ, when he allegedly killed Ron and his wife, ex-wife, Nicole, the jury heard all this evidence and DNA and this, that, and the other. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to acquit. And that's called jury nullification. And that's what they were afraid was going to happen to Trump on all of his cases, is that the defense would present all this stuff and then the jury would be like, yeah. Actually, that's what they did do when they gave him 34 counts of felonies in New York. So anyway, that's interesting. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. The Dr. Tommy Show. Go to drtommy.com/podcast. And we are now, I've just updated the podcast list. We are back on all the different ones like Apple and Pandora and iHeart, and it was always on Spotify, but for some reason the feed was not working, and now suddenly miraculously it's working. So,
well, that's good.
Anyway, this is the Dr. Tommy Show, and then if you're in town and you want to come and see us, this is Nurse Tracy, concierge nurse, and I am Dr. Tommy, and so we'll see you later. Until next time, bye-bye.
EH Sports.